The April 22nd, 2019 meeting of the Agenda Charter Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Brew.
Here.
Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Mr. Moyo.
Here.
Chairwoman Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Wilcox is excused. President Carbone.
Here.
Is there anyone signed up for public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone present who is not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? Being none, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the January 14th, 2019 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Mr. Clerk.
Referral 19-0107.
So moved, Madam Chairman. Second.
Moved by Legislator Brew, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Are those, all those in favor?
Do I ask for discussion?
Oh, yeah, be nice. Is there any discussion? Yes, Legislator Moya.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. This is essentially, I mean, it's a 5-year lease with 5-year option. It references a renewal. Are we currently in a lease with Sprint Spectrum?
Through the chair, yes, we are.
Through the chair, excuse me. And how long have we been contracted with this entity through the chair?
Through the chair since January, excuse me, since January 1999.
Okay, thank you. I have no more questions.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 19-0108.
Move it, Madam Chairwoman. Second.
Moved by Legislator Delahanty, seconded by President Carbone. Is there any discussion? Legislator Moy.
Thank you again, Madam Chairwoman. Through you to the administration, I just have a clarifying question regarding paragraph labeled 9, appeals. My office looked at the what's currently on the website and in the E-code, and it already says county executive. Is that, are we now officially fixing that, or has that already been amended? Through you, Madam Chairwoman.
Through the chair, the information contained in with the referral and the revisions are revisions to the language that currently exists on the E-code website, and that's where that language came from. But we'll look into with regards to our website and double check that, and that's where the red lines, the information came from.
Okay, maybe I'll check back in at the full legislature meeting. I have one more question regarding that same paragraph. We're proposing to amend from his to her pleasure. Would it be more effective to just amend it to the word there to make it non-gendered? Through you, Madam Chair.
Through the chair, the language should have been gender neutral, and we will definitely we definitely wanted it to be gender neutral. we're going to look into what this process would be for this to be changed in order to reflect that, whether that ends up having to be an amendment to this or whether or not that can just be a scrivener's error and otherwise acknowledged as such.
Okay, thank you very much.
Legislator Brew?
Administration, what is the reasoning behind the updating of the geodetic survey monumentation effort?
Through the chair. Yeah, the reason primarily is driven by the length of time that's transpired since the origination of the law. The many changes in technology that improve the capabilities and efficiency of making survey measurements has changed dramatically, and it really required revisions that would allow the practitioners something more direct to follow with in accordance with how they're practicing today. The other item that comes into play is the level of the security deposit was from long ago and really not reflective of the cost today to replace a monument that might be destroyed.
Okay, thank you. And a follow-up question, if I may. Do you foresee a time in the future where the geodetic survey monumentation may be outdated or not required anymore, given the fact that the geo stationary GPS location, indicating latitude and longitude is so accurate these days that would, in your opinion, do you feel that the monumentation would at some point in time become unnecessary?
Through the chair, the original intent of the monumentation law was not only to provide positioning within the global sphere of where the surveys existed, but also to provide a means of reproduction on the ground. So that's a strong factor that still remains, not only for future surveys, but for retracement of the many, many existing subdivisions and surveys that have been filed and tied into that network. So they provide us with a passive monument on the ground to sort of tie into and lock into to reproduce surveys where necessary. The other side of it is that there still are many practitioners that aren't equipped with GPS equipment as well.
Okay, so that sort of, through the chair, that sort of answers my next question, that it's not necessarily true that every survey is tied to an existing hard survey marking point. It may start from, an electronic location, if you may.
Well, every survey should really start from existing monumentation in the ground, whether it's a geodetic monument or otherwise. The idea of tying into the monuments is a part of a filed subdivision map and pretty much limited to that type of survey, as well as municipal work that we do for DOT highway work.
Okay, thank you. There was always survey-related questions that I've always had, so thank you for your response.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? Being none, there are no other matters. The April 22nd, 2019 meeting of the Agenda Charter Committee stands adjourned. The next item on the Agenda Charter Committee will be on Monday, May 20th, 2019 at 5 p.m. Thank you. And I did want to recognize, forgive me, that Mr. Brew has joined the Agenda Charter Committee, so welcome, Mr. Brew. Thank you.